Imagine waking up tomorrow and your body finally listens to you, finally lets go, finally works with you instead of against you. Sounds like a dream? It's not. It's science. And it starts with understanding one thing that nobody talks about. There's a reason you've been stuck. A reason nothing works no matter how hard you try. And honey, it's not the carbs. It's not the wine. It's not your age. It's something invisible, something you carry every single day. And your body responds to it more than anything you eat or any workout you do. When I discovered this, everything clicked. Everything made sense, and I couldn't wait to share it with you. So pour yourself something delicious, because what you're about to learn could change everything. Here's what most people don't understand. Your body is brilliant, absolutely genius. It knows exactly what to do in every situation. And it has one job above all else, to keep you alive no matter what. When life feels like too much, your body notices. Instantly. Before you even realize you're overwhelmed. Before you even name what you're feeling, your body already knows. It's like having a best friend who's always watching out for you, always scanning for trouble, always ready to jump in and help at a moment's notice. The problem? Sometimes this friend gets a little too protective, a little too eager to save you from danger that isn't really there. Your body thinks it's helping. It genuinely believes there's a real emergency happening. So it starts making changes, without asking your permission, without checking if you actually need rescuing. This is where the whole story begins. This is the moment everything shifts. And trust me, once you see it clearly, you will never unsee it again. When your body senses pressure, it releases cortisol. You've probably heard of cortisol. It's the famous one everyone talks about. Now here's the thing about cortisol. Cortisol isn't bad, not at all. Cortisol is actually amazing in small doses. Cortisol wakes you up in the morning. Cortisol gives you energy when you need to perform. Cortisol helps you react quickly when something unexpected happens. Cortisol is your friend, your ally, your personal power boost when life demands more from you. But here's the twist that changes everything. When cortisol stays high for too long, day after day, week after week, your body switches into a completely different mode. High cortisol stops your body from burning. High cortisol makes your body hold on to everything. High cortisol makes you stubborn, protective, resistant to change, and suddenly, no matter what you eat, no matter how much you move, nothing seems to work. The scale won't budge, your clothes feel tight, and you have no idea that cortisol is behind all of it. Sound familiar? There's a very specific reason cortisol does this. And in the next chapter, I'll show you exactly how cortisol is working behind the scenes and why your body thinks this is the right strategy. So why does cortisol make your body hold on to everything? Why does cortisol seem to work against you when you're trying so hard? Here's the fascinating truth about cortisol. Your body doesn't know the difference between real danger and everyday pressure. To your body, a deadline feels the same as running from a tiger. A difficult conversation feels the same as a life-threatening situation. And when cortisol floods your system, your body makes a decision. It decides to save you, to prepare you for the worst, to make sure you survive no matter what happens next. So cortisol tells your body to hold on to energy. Cortisol tells your body to store everything it can. Cortisol says, we might need this later. Don't let go of anything. This is ancient wisdom built into every cell. Cortisol protected your ancestors during famines and harsh winters. Cortisol kept them alive when food was scarce. But here's the problem. You're not facing a famine. You're facing emails and traffic and family drama. And cortisol doesn't know the difference. When cortisol stays elevated, something specific happens. Cortisol makes your body focus on one area, right here, where your jeans button, where your favorite dress used to fit perfectly. Why does cortisol choose this spot? Because it's the most efficient place. Cortisol is strategic. Cortisol wants quick access to emergency reserves. And the longer cortisol stays high, the more your body commits to this strategy, the more stubborn it becomes, the more impossible change feels. This is why you can eat perfectly and still see nothing shift. This is why you can work out daily and still feel stuck, because cortisol is running the show. Cortisol is making decisions without asking you. But here's the beautiful news. Once you understand how cortisol works, you can start working with it. You can send your body a different message. You can tell cortisol that the emergency is over. And when cortisol finally calms down, everything starts to shift. Everything starts to flow again. In the next chapter, I'll show you exactly which foods help lower cortisol naturally. Now let's talk about the foods that actually lower cortisol. Because what you eat matters more than you think. Certain foods tell cortisol to calm down. Others tell cortisol to spike even higher. First, leafy greens. Spinach, kale, arugula. These are packed with magnesium, and magnesium is cortisol's natural enemy. When you eat greens, cortisol drops. Simple as that. Second, healthy fats. Avocados, olive oil, nuts. These fats send a calming message to your entire system. They tell cortisol everything is abundant. No need to panic. No need to store. Third, wild salmon and fatty fish. The omega-3s in fish are incredibly powerful against cortisol. They reduce inflammation. They calm your nervous system. They help cortisol return to normal levels faster. These aren't diet foods. These are cortisol-fighting foods. And when you eat them regularly, cortisol gets the message loud and clear. Here's a surprise. Dark chocolate lowers cortisol. Yes, really. A small piece of dark chocolate tells cortisol to relax. It's not a cheat, it's medicine. Just keep it to a square or two. Fermented foods are cortisol fighters too. Yogurt, sauerkraut, kimchi. They support the connection between your mind and your digestion. When this connection is strong, cortisol stays balanced. And don't forget vitamin C. Oranges, peppers, berries. Vitamin C is proven to reduce cortisol after stressful moments. It helps cortisol clear out of your system faster. Now here's what to avoid. Sugar spikes cortisol. Caffeine after noon spikes cortisol. Processed foods spike cortisol. Every time you choose these, you're telling cortisol to stay high. But every time you choose the cortisol-calming foods, you're sending a new message. You're telling your body that you're safe, that there's no emergency, that it's time to let go. And your body listens. Cortisol drops, and everything begins to shift. In the next chapter, we'll talk about movement that calms cortisol instead of spiking it higher. Here's something nobody warns you about. Modern life is designed to keep cortisol high. Everything around you is engineered to create urgency. Notifications, deadlines, news, social media, constant noise. Your grandmother didn't live like this. Her cortisol had time to come down. She had quiet mornings, slow afternoons, evenings without screens glowing in her face. But your cortisol barely gets a break. It spikes when you wake up and check your phone. It spikes when you scroll through bad news. It spikes when you rush through breakfast or skip it completely. And cortisol doesn't care that these aren't real emergencies. Cortisol responds the same way every single time. Spike, hold, store, repeat. By noon, your cortisol has already spiked a dozen times, and your body thinks you're in survival mode. Your body thinks food is scarce and danger is everywhere. No wonder nothing works. No wonder you feel stuck. Your cortisol never gets the chance to calm down. But here's what most people miss. It's not about eliminating all pressure from your life. That's impossible. Life will always have demands. It's about giving cortisol breaks. Small windows where cortisol can drop. Moments where your body gets the message. You're not in danger. You're not running from anything. You're safe. Even 5 minutes without stimulation tells cortisol to ease up. Even one slow meal without multitasking sends a powerful message. Even a short walk without your phone changes your cortisol pattern. These tiny moments add up. They teach cortisol a new rhythm. They show your body that emergencies aren't constant. And when cortisol learns this new pattern, everything shifts. Your body stops gripping so hard. It stops holding on to everything. The most powerful women I know aren't the ones who hustle hardest. They're the ones who mastered the art of the pause. They give cortisol exactly what it needs, proof that the emergency is over. The first hour of your day determines your cortisol pattern for the next 16 hours. How you wake up matters more than almost anything else you do. Most women start wrong. They grab their phone before their feet touch the floor. Emails, messages, news, and cortisol explodes immediately. The day hasn't even started, and cortisol is already screaming emergency. But imagine a different morning. You wake up slowly. No phone. No rush. Just you and the quiet. You drink something warm, water with lemon, herbal tea, something that tells cortisol. There's no emergency here. Everything is peaceful. Then you stretch. Nothing intense, just gentle movement that tells cortisol. We're waking up slowly. We're safe. There's no tiger chasing us. And then, the most powerful cortisol reset of all, sunlight. Just 10 minutes of natural light tells cortisol to follow its natural rhythm, to rise gently in the morning and fall in the evening. Here's a cortisol secret that changes everything. Breakfast within 90 minutes of waking tells cortisol that food is abundant, that there's no famine. No reason to hold on to anything. Skip breakfast, and cortisol stays elevated. Your body thinks resources are scarce. It grips tighter, holds harder. But eat something nourishing, protein, healthy fats, maybe some berries. And cortisol gets a completely different message. safety, abundance, permission to let go. Before you check any messages, write for 2 minutes. Gratitude, intentions, anything positive. This simple practice lowers cortisol measurably. Science proves it. Now here's the magic. Stack these small rituals together. No phone, warm water, gentle movement, sunlight, real breakfast, 2 minutes of writing, and you've completely transformed your cortisol pattern. You haven't added hours to your morning. Maybe 20 minutes total. But cortisol now knows something different. Cortisol now knows that you're in control. And when cortisol believes you're safe, your body finally starts to cooperate. Here's something that might surprise you. Some exercise raises cortisol, and some exercise lowers it. Knowing the difference changes everything after 45. Intense workouts spike cortisol. That bootcamp class, that high-intensity session, that hour of pushing yourself to exhaustion. Cortisol goes through the roof. When you were 25, cortisol recovered quickly. No problem. But after 45, cortisol stays elevated for hours, sometimes days. And elevated cortisol means your body holds on to everything. This is why so many women exercise harder and see no results. They think more intensity equals more change. But cortisol doesn't work that way. Gentle movement lowers cortisol. Walking in nature, slow yoga, swimming, dancing, anything that feels good instead of punishing. When movement feels like pleasure, cortisol drops. When movement feels like punishment, cortisol spikes. Your body knows the difference. Cortisol knows the difference. The best cortisol-lowering movement has 3 qualities. It feels enjoyable, it happens in daylight when possible, and it leaves you energized, not destroyed. Walking is cortisol magic. 30 minutes of walking drops cortisol significantly. Add nature, trees, water, flowers, and cortisol drops even more. Add sunshine, and you've created the perfect cortisol reset. Yoga works beautifully for cortisol, but not the intense power yoga, gentle flows. Poses you can breathe through. This tells cortisol that everything is fine. Dancing is secretly one of the best cortisol medicines. Put on your favorite song. Move however feels good. 3 minutes of dancing can shift your entire cortisol pattern. Here's the rule. If you dread it, cortisol rises. If you love it, cortisol falls. Stop forcing yourself through workouts you hate. Start moving in ways that make you smile. Your body isn't punishing you. Cortisol isn't your enemy. You just need to speak its language. And its language is joy, pleasure, ease. Give cortisol what it needs, and it will finally give you what you want. What you eat talks directly to cortisol. Every meal sends a message. Either cortisol hears, emergency, store everything, or cortisol hears, abundance, let go. Leafy greens are cortisol's favorite medicine. Spinach, kale, arugula, Swiss chard. These are loaded with magnesium, and magnesium tells cortisol to calm down immediately. Most women are magnesium deficient, and low magnesium means cortisol stays high. Eat greens every single day, and cortisol gets the message. Avocados are cortisol gold. Healthy fats signal safety to your entire system. When cortisol senses abundant fat coming in, it stops hoarding. It relaxes. Wild salmon is a cortisol powerhouse. Those omega-3 fats are proven to lower cortisol levels. 2 servings a week makes a measurable difference. Cortisol responds to omega-3s like nothing else. Olive oil works the same way. Drizzle it generously. Every drop tells cortisol, there's plenty here, no need to panic. Eggs are cortisol balancers most women overlook. The protein stabilizes everything. The choline supports your nervous system. 2 eggs in the morning keep cortisol steady for hours. Pumpkin seeds are tiny cortisol miracles, loaded with zinc and magnesium, 2 minerals that cortisol depletes when it stays high. A handful a day replenishes what cortisol takes. Bone broth is ancient cortisol medicine. The glycine in broth calms your entire system. Warm broth tells cortisol, nurturing is happening. Healing is happening. Relax. Ginger and turmeric root fight cortisol inflammation. When cortisol stays high, inflammation rises. These roots bring it down. Add them to everything. Smoothies, soups, tea. Now here's the real secret. How you eat matters as much as what you eat. Rushed eating spikes cortisol. Standing over the sink spikes cortisol. Eating while scrolling spikes cortisol. Sit down. Slow down. Taste every bite. This simple shift tells cortisol, there's no emergency here. And cortisol finally believes you. Cortisol has a natural rhythm. It should peak in the morning and fall at night. But for most women over 45, cortisol stays high when it should be dropping. And this wrecks everything. High cortisol at night blocks deep restoration. Your body never fully recovers. And without recovery, nothing changes. No matter what you do during the day, the evening routine is where cortisol magic happens. 2 hours before bed, start dimming lights. Bright lights tell cortisol to stay alert. Dim lights tell cortisol the day is ending. A warm bath drops cortisol dramatically. The heat relaxes every tense place in your body. Add Epsom salts for extra magnesium absorption. Cortisol melts away in warm water. Lavender is proven to lower cortisol. The scent alone sends calming signals. Lotion, essential oil, pillow spray. Surround yourself with lavender, and cortisol obeys. Your phone is cortisol poison at night. Every notification, every scroll, every blue light ray, cortisol spikes with each one. Put your phone in another room, not on your nightstand, another room entirely. Gentle stretching before bed releases tension cortisol trapped in your body. Just 5 minutes. Nothing intense. Let your body unwind completely. Write 3 things you're grateful for. This isn't fluffy advice. It's cortisol science. Gratitude activates the part of your nervous system that lowers cortisol. 3 sentences change your chemistry. Then breathe. Slow exhales are cortisol's off switch. Breathe in for 4 counts, out for 8 counts. 4 breaths like this, and cortisol starts falling. Your bedroom should feel like a sanctuary. Cool temperature. Complete darkness. No screens glowing. This environment tells cortisol, safety is here. Tomorrow will come. But right now, let go completely. When you master the evening ritual, cortisol finally follows its natural rhythm. And while you restore, your body does everything it couldn't do while cortisol was high. 7 days is all it takes to reset your cortisol pattern. Not 7 months, not 7 weeks. 7 days of consistent action, and cortisol starts behaving differently. Day 1 and 2 are foundation days. No phone for the first 30 minutes after waking. Sunlight within the first hour. A breakfast with protein and healthy fats. This alone starts shifting cortisol. Day 3, add the movement piece. A 30-minute walk in daylight. Not a punishing workout. A pleasant walk. Let cortisol learn that movement means pleasure, not punishment. Day 4, focus on the evening. Dim lights after sunset. Phone in another room. Warm bath or shower. Cortisol needs to learn that nights are for calming down. Day 5, stack everything together. Morning ritual. Nourishing meals, gentle movement, evening wind down. Feel how different your body responds when cortisol gets consistent signals. Day 6, notice what's changing. Your energy feels different. Your cravings feel different. Your clothes might already feel different. Cortisol responds fast when you give it what it needs. Day 7, celebrate. You've completed a full cortisol reset cycle. Your body has new information now. Cortisol has learned a new pattern. But here's the truth. 7 days starts the reset. Continuing these habits locks it in. Week 2 gets easier. Week 3 becomes automatic. By week 4, this is just how you live. You don't need to be perfect. You need to be consistent. Miss a morning ritual? Do the evening one. Skip a walk. Eat cortisol calming foods. Every positive choice reinforces the new pattern. This isn't a diet. This isn't a punishment program. This is teaching cortisol that you're safe, that life is abundant, that there's no emergency requiring constant storage mode. And when cortisol finally believes you, everything you've been trying to achieve becomes possible. Your body stops working against you and starts working with you. You now know something most women never learn. You understand why your body has been holding on. You understand the invisible force that's been running the show. And you have the tools to change it. Cortisol isn't your enemy. Cortisol was trying to protect you. It just didn't know that the emergency was never real. Now you can send new signals through your mornings, through your movement, through your food, through your evenings. Every choice is a message, and cortisol is finally ready to listen. This isn't about perfection. It's about consistency, small rituals repeated daily, gentle choices that add up. Patience with yourself as your body learns to trust again. You are not broken. You are not too old. You are not beyond help. You are a woman who now understands her own body at the deepest level. And that knowledge, that's the most powerful thing you'll ever have. Use it. Share it. Pass it on to every woman who's been struggling in silence. Your transformation starts now. And I can't wait to see where it takes you.